we're going to take a look at how much it truly costs to own a private jet. I'll even include how much it costs yearly to fly and maintain the private jet that I own. So, what exactly do you have to do to maintain a private jet once you buy the actual plane? Private jets aren't a one-and-done situation. You have to pay for every takeoff, every landing, every bag of peanuts and bottle of wine. There are ramp fees, where you have to pay whenever your plane has a layover. There are landing fees, which vary from $100 to $500, where you have to pay for every single landing your plane makes. There are also hangar fees, which cover the cost of parking your plane in a hangar. After all, if you've spent $100 million on your plane, chances are you're not going to want it sitting out in the rain. On average, hangar fees land around $81,000 per year. If you want your plane parked and ready to go at a hop-in airport like LAX, they charge up to $12,000 per month, adding up to a staggering $144,000 per year. Of course, flying is considered a rather dangerous endeavor, so you'll need insurance, and not just one kind. Hull insurance, which covers damage to the plane and all of its systems, runs around $34,000 per year. On top of that, if you're the owner of the jet, you'll need single liability insurance, which tacks on another fun fee of $12,500. That's not even mentioning fuel costs, which vary from plane to plane, but can cost as much as $53,000 for a single fill. If you're keeping track so far, our expenses are steadily climbing to a fairly high altitude. Now, sure, the plane is important, but unless you're a pilot, you're going to need a crew, and you're going to have to shell out quite a bit of money to keep them around. On average, you can expect to pay about $215,000 per year for a pilot, co-pilot, and 2 flight attendants. You have to pay overnight fees for your crew, which include lodging, transportation, and food. If you're planning on staying at a destination for a while, you can send your crew back to your home base, but that'll cost you a repositioning fee. On top of all these necessary fees, there are a few random outliers that go with operating such a complex piece of machinery. If you're flying from Quebec to Florida in the middle of December, looking to escape to a warmer climate, you'll have to pay a de-icing fee before your wheels hop off the tarmac. If something goes wrong with your jet, you can look at paying as much as $60,000 for a new windshield, or $8,000 for a new tire. In other words, cross your fingers and hope that you're flying from a warm destination to a warm destination with no repairs in store. Now, let's get down into the nitty-gritty. The price difference between aircraft. The most common private jet in the world is the Cessna Citation XLS, a small firecracker of a jet that can seat 8 people, along with 4 crew members. The Cessna is a bit dated, but it's often upgraded and fitted with all new tech and luxurious touches. Buying an updated Cessna will cost you around $14 million. If you want to buy a 10-year-old basic model, it'll run you about $4 million. If you're flying around 200 hours per year, that's enough to jet from LA to London about 15 times. It'll cost you around $805,000 to maintain the plane. That rounds out to about $10.15 per mile. But maybe you want something a little nicer than an old Cessna Citation XLS. Maybe you want something luxurious, like the Gulfstream 650. I can't say enough about this plane, which is actually the one I decided to purchase years ago. This jet has a lounge area with a sofa and a flat-screen television that pops out of a credenza. The credenza also has an added bonus, a wine cabinet where chilled bubbly awaits. In my case, it's normally a nice white wine. There's also a dining room and a private stateroom where a couch folds out into a double-sized bed. For being 30,000 feet above the ground, the bed is fairly comfortable, and I've had my fair share of nights in the Mile High Club. I have many lovely memories on my Gulfstream 650, but that hasn't come without investing a fair share of my money into it. It costs about $1.6 million a year to operate the Gulfstream. To fly 200 hours per year, which is around my average, the fuel alone costs almost $500,000. When you factor in how much the plane cost to purchase in the first place, around $65.5 million, you're talking about a lot of money. Of course, you don't have to buy a plane. You can charter one instead. Before I took the plunge and bought my Gulfstream, I was chartering jets almost every other weekend, and it doesn't come cheap. If you're chartering a small plane, you can expect to pay between $2,000 to $3,000 per hour. The Cessna Citation, which is considered a mid-size plane, costs around $9,500 per hour, but the Gulfstream, that'll cost you around $13,000 per hour. If you're flying from New York to London every week, you're going to be racking up some pretty hefty chartering rates. All in all, the world of private jets is an exciting, enticing, luxurious, and downright expensive one. What do you think of the costs of owning and operating private jets? Would you prefer to buy or rent? Let me know in the comments down below.